That actually like kind of steamrolls into like the next big topic, which is like, what are the roles of a mod? So we've, started to get into that, especially with like the chat. It's not just about banning people, it's about setting the tone, setting the mood, and facilitating, the community. But what about behind the scenes? Like what are some roles that you guys have had to do behind the scenes for your streamers?
And as a follow-up, what are some of the various roles that moderators can play other than the obvious ones and some of the ones we've talked about already?
I actually wrote an article about this, and I think we brought it up in the I think we brought it up in our TwitchCon panel as well.
This is where I'm bringing it from.
Yeah. So
is mother an option? Because
yeah, I think reasonably, sort of.
Yeah. Mother is all of the options. It's one of each.
all under one umbrella, yeah.
So it's hard to even know where to start, and every channel has its own culture. So what I'm going to say doesn't apply to everybody, and I'll just preface it with that. But you kind of have your tiers. You've got just the person who's got a band hammer, like that's all they have. They don't even really talk. They just kind of nuke from above. They just
nuke from orbit.
Yeah, they're just the nuke from orbit guy. They see it before anybody else sees it. They've got you covered, and it's gone. Right? There's just that guy, and that they don't talk much, but they ban a considerable amount. And then you've got your door greeter, right? You've got your Walmart door greeter, who everybody who comes in, that person is being friendly to them, introducing them to the channel. They're the first ones that answer the questions, and I think those people are super important, actually, because that creates this welcoming environment.
Absolutely.
And then you've got your AV nerd. You got your video tech who does a lot of your highlights, and they get your clips, and they get your clips organized, and maybe they make your highlight videos for you, but they don't really do a lot of like normal moderation tasks.
Where can I find one of those?
Those are actually highly sought after and are probably worth money. Like you might actually pay that person money because they're making alternate content that you could put up on YouTube, and we can talk more about who you should pay and that kind of stuff later. And then you've got your kind of like your community manager type of person, and maybe that's the mother one. The community manager just is you would know what a community manager. You have one, Hunter, but it's the person who's kind of overseeing the details. Maybe they're contacting companies on your behalf. Maybe they're contacting sponsors on your behalf. Maybe they're organizing schedules. Maybe they're organizing co-streams between you and another channel. Maybe they're actually the ones who are setting up, they're approving mods to come into your channel. They're training the mods that you have. They're setting up the moderation tools that you have. Community manager position is something that you're starting to see on larger channels. So that's another one I've seen.
Definitely starting to see that more often, yeah.
Yeah, and then you've got your head tech guy who's just like your bot person. Like maybe you've created custom alerts, custom bot. You've got maybe your own even extension, maybe if you've gotten really fancy, but you've got your head tech guy. They're probably not in the channel all the time, and they're a mod, but they don't really use their mod powers or usually or whatever. But yeah, you've got there's levels to this game. I'm not saying that one of them is more important than another one, because you kind of need all of your bases covered. Because I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but as a broadcaster, you're kind of like a one-person production team, right? I mean, if you talk about a normal TV show, you've got your producer, you've got your video techs
before HP Fox, yes.
Yeah, so you've got to fill all of these roles and do all of these things, and the more people that you can just sit in front of a role and say, here, you're responsible for this, the more times that you can do that, the more you can focus on what you're good at, which is the entertainment side of things.
Yeah.
So that's the evolution that I was mentioning earlier about mods. Mods now are not just door greeters and banners. They're doing other things for channels, and I think it's great. I think the team element is a great one. I think that a mod chat is a great thing that happens now on pretty much all channels.
Yeah.
I don't know of hardly any channels that don't have a Discord mod chat anymore, which used to be somewhat fairly rare or done in Skype, and not everybody would show up. But now Discord, people are keeping in tune with their mods a lot more than they ever have before, as far as I'm aware. So
modding is so much more of a nuanced thing, you're saying, now than it was before, yeah?
I would say that as Twitch has increased, and as the size of the channel has increased, and as the production quality level is expected to be going up on channels, and as channels are trying to stay competitive with each other, the mods have had to step up their game too. Yeah. And there's also probably 3 to 4 mods for every broadcaster on Twitch. If you actually think about the size of the user base that we're talking about here, it's extensive of how many people are mods and not broadcasters out. I mean, we are the grease, right? Mods are the grease that keeps the cogs turning, so to speak, on Twitch, that you don't sometimes even notice unless things have gone wrong.
Lucky Misfit, were you trying to? I heard a little peep.
I said nothing. No. With the whole Discord, like the mod chat thing, it's also nice to have that so that you can clear up any misunderstandings that might be going on in chat privately. Absolutely. And kind of say, hey, I got to go get something to drink. Keep an eye on this guy. He's doing nothing but spamming failfish or something.
That emote drives me crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. You can see the mood drop on someone's face when failfish is in the chat. Either that or they go, what? I meant to do that kind of thing. But I don't know. It's nice because when you're working with, and I say working with because it is work, volunteer work, but like when you're working with this group of people, it's nice to have a place where you can all just kind of talk to each other outside of stream times. I just looked at chat.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah. But it's nice because then you kind of get to know these other people, and you get to know kind of like their process and what they're into and how they're willing to help the stream. And then things sort of evolve naturally from there into those other roles that Mob mentioned. Mm-hmm. So, if you don't have a mod chat, what are you doing with your life? Go get one.
Spend the 5 minutes that it takes to do that and pin some messages up in there in Discord.
Yeah, and it's nice to have a place to like, hey, do you have the link to blah, blah, blah?
Yeah.
And just share stuff.
Just for them to communicate about mod specific things. That's a lot of that is stuff that needs to be done outside of a traditional chat. And if you have more than 2 mods, needs to be done outside of whispers, because that way all of the mods can share in the mod culture for your channel and continue to develop that and build that. That's not something that happens naturally. We are, first time somebody starts bringing some mods in, everybody's an idiot. Nobody has any idea what they're doing. We're all just trying to, feel our way through it. But that's how you establish that, is through those key and core places, I think, where you can consistently communicate, and it's just you guys, and you feel like you have a crew there, and you build that up in a variety of ways. It's
right.
True.
I mean, communication in general is extremely important between the mods and between the streamer and the mods.
Absolutely.
I think that, having regular mod meetings is really important. Not only for planning new projects or whatever you guys want to do, but also just checking in and making sure that everyone's kind of on the same page. I don't have mod meetings as frequently as I should, but sometimes it just gets to a point where it's like, okay, we're kind of confused about these rules and how to approach these. We need kind of a refresher. So having some mod meetings, especially if you're a larger channel and you have a larger mod team, is pretty important. And just regularly, talking to your mods is crucial.
Just to reiterate how important